coming to you live from Basic.
Planes.
It's Tap Tap Concede.
That was perfect.
Nice.
Nailed it.
right.
Worked out bits.
I'm Cameron,
I'm Ben.
And I'm Nelson.
and we're going to be rapping to you today about Magic the Gathering.
You brought me back twice in a row. I feel
Yeah.
so privileged.
Well,
We know you're good at conceding.
yeah, exactly. Well, you did good last time, Ben. I enjoyed talking with you about things. 'Cause
I won't break your trust in me.
well, you know stuff.
Sometimes.
All right. Well, so before we get started, today's podcast is brought to you by the kind people over at CardKingdom.com. CardKingdom.com. From Seattle to the world since 1997, something like that?
I think that's their.
Yeah, that's their
thing.
motto.
It's not a kingdom of cards.
No, nor is it pay them so they pay us. But if you go to cardkingdom.com/LRR, you will be able to select from their wide variety of Magic singles, and if you live in the United States, sealed product. Their shipping is notoriously fast, and if you do make an order and put into the special request field, Loading Ready Run sent me button please, they will send you one of our little 1-inch buttons, and I believe this month it reads, it's pronounced Wooburg.
It's pronounced.
Pronounced
Pronounced.
Wooburg.
But they have it like spelled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a great retail space. They do great online sales, and if you're in the Seattle area, please consider checking out one of their brick and mortar stores. I always say that they're the kind of stores that I would open if I had unlimited money to open a store. They have a great cafe. They have baristas who pull really good shots. A bar.
Their
This
next
is a
door
nice chill
bar.
place
Yeah.
to hang out.
It's
Yeah,
great. It's a great store.
It's like the ideal game store.
But it's not actually a feudal kingdom, so don't go there with
Yeah.
like a sword and like hoping
Yeah,
to
Don't-
be dubbed a knight. Like they can't
Yeah,
actually
there's no
do that.
monarchy at the card
That's why
kingdom.
Yeah.
we've changed our introduction of their slogan.
Yeah, exactly. That you can't become a serf, right? Like Card
Yeah.
Kingdom implies the existence of card serfdom.
Become a duke in the
Yeah.
kingdom of cards.
Exactly. Maybe you can overthrow the current Card King.
They aren't a barony.
Who
They're
would be the
just,
card
unfortunately,
king?
I
in the
don't know.
municipality of
I mean-
Renton, right?
Yeah, I guess we could ask one of. Would that make, our friends who work there like viziers of some kind in the Card
Probably.
Kingdom,
Yeah.
or would that have to be a card emirate? I don't really know.
Yeah,
I'm not up on my feudalism. Anyway, this podcast is also brought to you by you, the kind viewers over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Your direct support of us allows us to pay many of our bills, including for people like me and Ben and Nelson. So much appreciated and all the love in the world.
Cheers.
3 for 3.
Well, do we want to crack a pack?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. It's going to be another pack of Portal
who-
3 Kingdoms.
Before we crack
Whosoever-
this pack, I want to throw Marshall Sutcliffe under the bus real quick.
Oh, really? Okay, are we
It should
beefing?
probably be a recurring segment.
Are
I
we
just listened to
beefing?
I listened to the recent episode with Ryan Spain,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks about how he has all of these packs he doesn't open, and he says in his podcast, he's like, because I would never open a pack if not for a draft. Well, what is crack a pack, Marshall?
Wow.
You're opening a pack that's not in a draft.
Wow, dunked on.
And
very true.
And we think crack a pack is so much fun we stole it from you.
Yeah, how's the tea,
So
Nelson?
you've been proliferating this whole concept
Practice.
of opening packs, not in drafts. How's
Although-
the tea? Did you say?
Yeah, how's the tea?
It's just the Kermit the Frog
okay.
picture. I think actually my favorite. This is still. I'm not going to derail it too far, but my favorite gif of that is a friend of mine, Lady Atarka, who went to a GP and while he was doing live coverage, walked behind him on camera and just like cracked open a pack and like dropped it, and Marshall like stopped mid like thought and was like. And like kept going.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Weirdly,
Shout out.
Weirdly, I agree. It feels horrible every time we rip one of these open and then don't get to make a first pick and pass to the left.
Yeah, true. Then again, Marshall did like
But he started it.
savagely dunk on me at GP Seattle.
Oh,
when
did
I went up to say hi to him, and he just goes, "Hey Cam, what's going on?" And holds up.
Just holds his hand 18 feet in the air. That
like
was the whole
just
joke.
casually, like,
Yeah.
Hey, want to
he
come in
doesn't
for a high
reach.
five?
Just Marshall, if you
What's
haven't-
going on?
if you
He's a
haven't met him.
tall guy.
Yeah,
He is
Marshall
a creature
is-
type giant.
Yeah, he's a colossus of a man.
Yeah.
Anywho, whosoever can snatch the die 20 from me can go die.
When Marshall holds this die, it just looks like a normal die.
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
welcome to
This-
Tap Tap Concede, the dunking on Marshall episode.
Yeah. All right, number 4.
I listened to his podcast this week. I can't help it. I have all this ammo.
Oh, Unglued. Woo! Pack of Unglued, given to us From Lord and Lady Hosk at PAX West in
Hey.
2016.
Lord and Lady Hosk.
Hey, from the House Hosk.
Yes.
All right.
God, I finally
Perhaps
got to
the
meet
Kingdom of
them.
Hosk?
Paul, where am I going?
It's probably right there.
Yep, right there.
Okay.
Yep.
I finally got to meet them at PAX Seattle this year.
They're delightful
They're
people.
just such good people.
All
Is that
right,
what it's
so-
called? It's not PAX Original.
Yeah, no, it's no
PAX
longer
Hat-
PAX
well,
Prime,
PAX
it's PAX
Alpha.
West.
I thought they were like that was the thing. Like I've heard mixed things on like should you call it PAX Prime or not? Like they don't want to advertise that, but like I have no idea.
It was PAX Prime for so long that now it's kind of like the Modo of PAX. You know,
Yeah.
if you're OG, you call it PAX Prime.
Modo. All right, let's do it.
All right, first up,
It's Growth Spurt.
Growth spurt. This seems like a pump spell.
No, what is it? I'll pick it up.
oh, okay.
We're
Well,
working on it. We're
anyway.
working on Growth Spurt.
it is 1 and a green for an instant. Roll a 6-sided die. Target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is equal to the die roll. This could have quite easily come from Unstable
For sure.
with its die rolling mechanic.
Yeah, I think they kept the whole die rolling thing. There it is. Yeah. I think there might have been die rolling cards in the second set as well, the Unhinged. Pretty sure they did that instead of just flipping coins or, choosing a number.
Yeah, I mean die rolls. It seems like it's a mechanic that you can easily enforce.
This is like the most vanilla of, it's a joke magic card. Like,
Yeah.
it asks you to roll a die, but it's actually just very straightforward.
Yeah, yeah. Prismatic Wardrobe.
Ooh, I love the
Technicolor
art on
Dreamcoat.
this.
1 white for a sorcery. Destroy target card that does not share a color with clothing worn by its controller. You cannot choose an artifact or land card. Guess I'm in Demir.
Yeah.
I have Azorius stuff going on.
Oh God,
Mono
I guess me
blue.
too.
You're
yeah,
both
the
in
blue-
Esper.
Okay, sure, yeah. If the black
Yeah.
dots work, then.
Oh,
all
wait,
right.
and I've got white on my t-shirt.
I'm
So.
blue up top
Perfect.
and black pants.
We're all wearing Esper colors.
Okay, so I
And
guess
we're
that
each
puts us
repping
in-
a different top of the different colors. Wow.
Oh, that's true. We're
did
wow,
not
wow, we're
plan
literally
this.
Esper.
Didn't plan it. That's right.
Whoa, okay.
Esper.
I'm going to go ahead and, control or solar flare? Maybe artifacts? I don't know.
Mid range. That's an option.
Ooh, yeah.
What if? So could this destroy an artifact?
You can't choose an artifact or land. Is the second sentence.
Oh, you. Yep. It
All right.
can't. There we go. Solved.
Okay.
We did it.
Clam Session.
Oh yeah, I love this card.
1 blue, summon Clamfolk for a 2/5. When Clam Session comes into play, choose a word. During your upkeep, sing at least 6 words of a song, one of which must be the chosen word, or sacrifice Clam Session. You cannot repeat a song. Duke, 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 Duke of Pearl, Duke.
Don't you just pick like so or the or like?
I do love that.
So.
I love that these unsets got you singing a bunch. One of my favorite cards from Unhinged was just Land Aid. It's just like 2 green, sorcery, search your library for a basic land, put it into play untapped if you were singing while you searched your library.
Nice.
Land Aid.
Oh,
It's
I
even got
get
a
it.
logo. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
even-
save Wirewood.
that's right.
That's awesome.
But yeah, Clam Session has you singing every turn.
Yeah. I mean, I'd do that for a 2/5. Holds
For
down the
3?
ground quite well.
Oh yeah, that's a great body. I'm used to paying 4 for that in Guilds of Ravnica and loving it. Had 2 Wishcoin crabs in the last deck
Yeah.
that I went 5 wins
Wisconsin
with.
crab.
Yeah, that's a double block you don't want to swing into. Temp of the Damned. 2 and a black for a 3/3 zombie. When you play Temp of the Damned, roll a 6-sided die. Temp of the Damned comes into play with a number of funk counters on it equal to the die roll. During your upkeep, remove a funk counter from Temp of the Damned or sacrifice Temp of the Damned. So this is kind of like Vanishing, but I feel that this card comes from a very personal place of deep hatred.
Yeah.
Somebody at
There's an
WotC,
inside joke here, yeah.
Yeah, there was a temp hired at WotC.
They were just in a funk the whole time that they were there.
Or they,
Smell bad?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Well,
What's the expression on the demon in the background? Is he
Like-
covering his nose, or is he just tired of the?
It looks like he's
bungling?
tired of his
Yeah.
this guy's crap, right? Like
Yeah.
And I'm reading the flavor text like, not the graveyard shift again.
All right.
If you haven't watched all of The Office, you should do yourself a favor.
I mean, a 3/3 for 3 with Vanishing? Or is this Fading?
I don't know. It's Temp of
It'd
the
be,
Damned.
it'd be
Yeah.
vanishing, yeah.
I guess it's Vanishing.
Chicken egg.
Or Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 and a red for a 0/1 egg. During your upkeep, roll a 6-sided die. On a 6, sacrifice chicken egg and put a giant chicken token into play. Treat this token as a 4/4 red creature that counts as a chicken.
Interesting.
Only 2 mana.
Yeah.
Obvious shout out to Rock Egg here with the same art, drawn by the same artist.
I'm just reading the flavor
All
text
right,
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of nuggets.
From Jaya.
Yeah. Oh, this is like tendies on layaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
There you go. Nice one.
Okay. Next up, free range chicken.
For
I
the
guess
rest of your
chickens are in
chicken
drool.
trial type, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there might be 5 color. I think there.
Oh,
there might be
really?
A lot of
Like the
chickens in this
horses?
set.
3 and a green for a 3/3 chicken. For 1 and a green, it has an activated ability. Roll 2 6-sided dice. If both die rolls are the same, free range chicken gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number rolled on each die. Otherwise, the total rolled is equal to any other total you have rolled this turn for free range chicken. Sacrifice it.
Jeez. Ugh.
Huh.
Gambling pump. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a 1 in 6 chance of getting some kind of pump.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'd like the idea of just like trying to go all the way.
Yep.
You know, like getting this to 20
Yeah.
on on no blocks.
I'm pretty sure it starts really cutting into you on like the 3rd or 4th spin, though, right? Like obviously
Yeah.
you're gonna have the mana to spin it twice, but even that 2nd spin could be lethal. But then the 3rd spin starts becoming more and more likely to be lethal, right?
There is the key thing where it's like otherwise, right? So if you just kept rolling double 6s, you'd be fine the whole way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But if
And
you
yeah,
hit-
if you
but if you roll those 7s,
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like craps, right?
a lot of rolls
yeah,
come out
yeah.
to 7,
Actually, is
yeah.
this just craps?
It's
Craps
similar.
chicken.
I've watched James win at craps, but I've
You're-
never played it
except
myself.
Craps are trying to roll the same number, aren't you?
Are you?
I
Okay.
think so. Last time I was in Vegas, they explained to me, but I don't entirely remember. But I do remember something about like depending on the first roll you make, you then are either trying to roll 7s and 11s or not trying to roll 7s and 11s. So
Okay.
hopefully that's right.
And then there's at some point if you roll a certain thing, then they put a chicken on the table. I believe that's
Yes.
part
Yeah.
of the deal.
They keep the chicken, and the pit boss has to go and get the chicken from the office, right? Or the chicken farm next to the casino.
and that's why it's called craps.
Exactly. There, we figured it out, Internet. Bronze Calendar, our first uncommon, a 4-mana artifact. Your spells cost 1 generic mana less to play as long as you speak in a voice other than your normal voice. If you speak in your normal voice, sacrifice Bronze Calendar.
You gonna sacrifice that?
I guess you have to now.
Never again.
Not to my bronze calendar.
Every page holds a month, every date a numeral.
Isn't this a colander?
Yeah, I
Yes,
guess that's.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if there was again
bronze calendar.
if this was a in joke that like there was a calendar card that people kept mispronouncing.
Possibly.
The,
yeah.
the in-joke it strikes me as is referencing the art for Halapterus Lemure from Ice Age. I think I'm saying that right. It's like H-Y. The first word starts with H-Y. It's from Ice Age. And then the second word of the name of the card is Lemure, L-E-M-U-R-E.
Oh, yeah, which is a kind of demon.
That's
yeah.
right. It's like an evil spirit or something. But the artist is just like, sure, I'll draw a cute little lemur for you.
Yeah.
No problem. Here you go.
Or like
Have them smiling at you.
the other one I think of is Bloodlust
Oh, okay.
from
the art from Bloodlust.
ABUR.
Is it just like, she's just lusty? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. It's like this picture of this woman, or
You know,
a
I
drawing of
never
a
put
woman
that
leaning
together.
up against
Oh,
like
like a wall of blood.
Just like, I just want this blood
yeah,
so
and,
much.
And the artist said like, my first language isn't English. I had never heard this expression before,
Really?
and they
Semantics? Okay.
yeah,
All right. I didn't know that.
and they translated it into apparently German or something. And he's like, looked it up, bloodlust. Well, that's a weird word. Like that's a weird combination of things to say.
All right.
Interesting clause too for that card.
There's been a
Yeah.
bunch of that.
Can't destroy the creature that you're doing it to.
There's a pretty recent one too that I think is a bungle. It's from like Commander 2013 or 2014. It's the reprint of Rubinia Soul Singer, which is like almost the word. There's an extra word in there, but like the word. There's the Lemure. Yeah,
Oh.
adorable.
Looks like a little slow loris.
Hyalopterus.
Hyalopterus.
So yeah, this is like one of the original bronze colanders,
Okay.
right? But there are also some calendar cards in Magic, so maybe it's referencing those too. This is the one I think of.
Yeah, fair enough.
Stone calendar.
There's okay,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
it's by Amy Weber, so it looks like whatever you want it to look like, right?
I like that casting cost of spells cannot go below 0, as though like you could net mana from casting things. If you're like, this costs -1 mana.
Before there was a
Yeah,
comp
I mean-
rules document, they felt like they really needed to clear up some FAQ on cards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot more
like-
FAQ on Magic.
Yeah, does this combo with Kobolds of Care Keep?
Right.
Yeah,
like,
and it would
you
just say
like-
right on there, it's like, this does not combo.
Yeah,
for
they literally
example.
become mana at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, those are kobolds of dark ritual is what they're called.
Oh, interesting. It references Marcel.
The Pretender Marcel, right? She can
Which
get a card for now.
Yeah, which wasn't a card until that was one of the other ones in the Commander, the Wizards.
Oh, right. Okay,
so-
yes.
That's super interesting. I love when they do this. Like we were talking
Yeah.
about Brutaclad, or is it
Okay.
Brutaclad?
Yeah.
Who's a commander. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've literally talked about this on TTC, but it was just like a card that that didn't have a thing, but was referenced on one card, which was Sarcomite Mirror from like
Oh, yeah, from Time Spiral.
from Time
right?
Spiral, yeah. Where it's like, or maybe it was Future Sight, I can't remember. But like, yeah, and it's just like,
Okay.
it's a quote from Brutaclad, and that's the only card ever. And then apparently, like when they were like trying to figure out who they were going to put in the thing, people were just like, Brutaclad! And they were like, okay.
Well, I mean, like, Felden was a big hit.
Yeah.
Right? Felden of the Third Way.
Okay, we should come back to this part of
Yes.
the
Yes.
episode where we went on a 5-minute segue tangent because we wanted to talk about the story of the characters of Magic the Gathering. We
Yes.
can come back to that in the third segment. Yeah,
Definitely.
keep listening.
Whoa.
Soldier Token.
The original tokens were in
Yeah.
packs of Unhinged.
This
Really?
is really cool.
Along with MPR, the original Magic Player Rewards were around the same time, and
I
they
just
were
gotta,
these
like,
huge,
say,
gorgeous tokens that
These
aren't
are
coming up in
so
the card
cool.
reader.
Look at these guys' thighs.
Damn.
Back then, it seemed like economy. Oh, this is so useless. Maybe you can kind of see inside my face. It was economical not to put numbers for power and toughness in the bottom right. I think that was the thinking because there were various sizes of soldier creature. or
Right,
whatever.
and you could abstract this to be...
Exactly. You
Right,
just say like it's a 1/1, and clearly
Yeah.
it's a thing that can tap or not tap. And
Yeah,
looks
nowadays,
like a
most of
creature.
them are 1/1, so they, like,
Well, they just make all of the tokens,
Yeah.
and they include them in the packs.
Uh,
And that has a magic back.
oh, strategy, smategy.
totally not Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, totally not Wheel of Fortune. 1 and a red for a sorcery. Roll a 6-sided dice for strategy, smategy.
Schmategy.
On a 1, strategy schmategy has no effect. Otherwise, it has one of the following effects. 2, destroy all artifacts. 3, destroy all lands. 4, strategy schmategy deals 3 damage to each creature and player. 5, each player discards his or her hand and draws 7 cards.
There it is.
Yep. And 6, roll the die 2 more times.
Ooh, I love that.
Oh. Okay, this is kind of rad.
It's
This
a fun
is so
card.
cool.
Yeah, that's a fun card.
And
Oh yeah, right. Of course. Also,
Swamp.
Zomp.
also the first. So this is a really
These are-
big deal set, actually.
Yeah.
Full art lands and
I
token
think-
cards.
I think are these my favorite full arts?
Probably not. Almost no one. These are their favorites. I
Really?
can think
I
of like
mean-
one person.
I think it's unstable now for me.
I mean,
A lot of people
yes.
always like the newest one the most.
Like, look at that guy's left thigh.
Yeah.
I can't. Sorry, it's like looking
Yeah.
into the sun.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
like,
skipping leg day.
I gotta go to the gym. I feel like, yeah.
Oh, look at. I do not remember that style.
Oh, Onslaught.
Those are a little later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did those also still they kept the magic card back on these token supplemental products for a while.
They also have flavor text, which is kind of neat.
I want to
Yeah.
say that like Lorwyn had the first tokens in packs.
Okay. These are
Yeah.
cool. I kind of want to. I really like tokens, so like, this kind of makes me want to go on a token search through
Some
Card
of these are
Kingdom.
kind of expensive
Yeah.
now. Yeah, they're like sought after. These are real old ones.
Yeah. All
Hey,
right.
you've got some trade bait.
Because
Yeah.
Chris Ireland runs these, right?
Yeah, he's the one I can think of. Who's their
Maybe
yeah.
maybe if they're not terribly popular, I should look into getting these because I don't know. I just really enjoy how they maintain the border,
Sure.
kind of.
Yeah, the land and the token, of course, are by far the most valuable things in that pack.
I mean, yeah, when I first started getting into Magic, really, it was like, these were around, but it was like, Zendikar, the BFZ was like the first set that brought back full arts, right? And so like, I remember them being like these were super expensive when I was like, I really want full arts. And then I don't know if that has changed since like the amount of full arts and stuff that have come out now or what
Yeah.
the case is.
I
but-
haven't checked super recently, but like last time I checked, these were noticeably cheaper than Unhinged, and then it seemed like the unstable ones were starting to make serious headway. So it's like in another year or two when it's like no longer really possible to get sealed packs of unstable anymore, we might see the unstable ones pull even above the unhinged ones, or not. You will decide, the
Right,
viewer
yeah.
and the
The-
magic
the-
buying populace. Yeah.
The invisible grip of the market will
That's
decide.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if everyone just thinks that the newest unstable ones look the best and that's what everyone's played, they'll be worth the most eventually.
I definitely want to grab a bunch of those for my collection, I think. And
Speaking
look
of
great.
collections,
boom,
yeah,
there it is.
Oh, buttery smooth, Ben. Nice.
We did it.
We got an interesting question
Heather,
about.
can we go back and edit and I'll say speaking of collections too? Is that, you ready?
That's fair. That's fair.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you just like have a complete like cut where we're in like one expression and then just like have the clock moves in
Yeah.
the background.
Yeah. No, I just want to make a joke to all our viewers that know how little this gets edited. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
We got an interesting question from a viewer who wanted to know how we maintain our collections, what we basically what we keep at home, what we keep around, and how we curate that. And that was interesting because I've been struggling with this a lot. And
Me too, for 25 years.
well, yeah, exactly. Because I used to buy boxes of cards when a new set came out, and I'd rip them and like play with the cards, and we just wound up with hundreds and hundreds of cards I don't care about, and I now am struggling what to do with them. But I then moved on to just kind of like getting rid of whatever I drafted. Like I would go to draft at the store and then just be like, do I need to keep these? Well, I'll keep this card because I like it and I want to build around it, maybe. And that would never happen, but it was a nice idea that I appreciated. But I'm really interested to know what you do because, well, you're both also, like, I toe in the pool of Highlander play, but I know a lot of Highlander players kind of maintain a pseudo cube
Right.
that they use
It's like
as
the
their
Highlander
collection, like toolkit.
stable. Yeah, or toolkit.
Right,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that idea appeals to me.
It's nice, although it also eventually just gets too big.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, actually, Ben, why don't we start with you?
Sure. So yeah, I kind of fall into that similar thing that you were talking about, where your collection obviously expands. I used to be a really big paper standard player.
Right.
Right up until I think like a couple of months of me living here, and I realized like standard isn't like as huge, I've found, or at least like, and then I eventually just didn't have time to actually
You
go to
came
stores.
from Edmonton before you're living here, is
Yes,
that right? And there
yeah.
was lots of standards.
There was a
You
pretty
had-
decent thing there.
you
Like
usually
I
just play standard in the evening if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I used to go to like game days and whatnot all
Great,
the time.
yeah.
Like I won my store's I think it was Shadows
Cool.
game day because I was rocking that Fevered Visions like
sweet,
Thermo
yeah.
Alchemist deck.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was really cool.
That was
It was
sweet.
so much fun with like Thing in the Ice and all that kind of jazz. It's honestly one of my favorite standard decks I've played. But yeah, so I used to, keep play sets of everything and stuff like that. But since coming here, and also with the advances that have come with digital Magic, with like Arena and stuff like that, I find that I am in paper only playing singleton format. So now I'm at the point where I just keep single cards.
Right.
Which has brought down my collection significantly. The part that has kind of put a hinge for me, because like I do play Highlander, so I've got like all these Highlander playables and stuff like that. But I'm also kind of like our unofficial official commander brewer here at the office.
Right, so you kind of have an imperative to have.
I have so many corner case like cards in my collection just because like a lot of the times we'll be like, are we doing commander? Ben, are you cool to brew up like 3 new commander decks? And I try and do like a different one every single time.
Right.
So I'm constantly like going through like our draft chaff from like Crack-a-Packs or whatever and stuff like that. And
Ben
like,
hits YJ pretty often.
I do,
days,
yeah.
but relative to the rest of the base, I would say.
yeah, because like and just like looking for some sort of inspiration for it.
Yeah, and you're looking for like a few particular cards, and then you want to see what else kind of comes up if we manage to dredge those, right?
Yeah, and I get help from like Nelly or like Jeremy White and stuff like that to look for stuff. A perfect example is like I built. It's perfect actually. I built Ian that bird tribal deck, right?
Right.
So one of the cards in it is Airborne Aid, which is like 2 and a blue. Or a sorcery, I think it is, which is draw a card for each bird you control.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Which
right.
is like-
onslaught block, probably.
Yeah, which is like or for each bird in play, not even that you control. It's 3 and a blue. But like, this is like the epitome of like corner case sort of like
Right.
cards, right? There are a lot of these ones in my collection. And so what I have is I'm working currently actually in the process of this is 2 boxes. One is my like, these are staples. These are Highlander staples. These are Commander staples, mostly rares, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I have a second box that is corner case Commander things.
Okay.
Things that I would probably not end up playing, but are alphabetized so that if I'm like looking for a thing, I know exactly where to like which would be, right? Because it's
Right.
like if I'm like I need a Snapcaster, that's going to be in my
Your
my Highlander stuff, right? But
Right.
if it's like I need to find like some random like mirror card or like a Thodian or something like that, which is like not necessarily a staple card, but still a fine enough card in Commander.
Yeah,
that
You
would be
want like a
playable.
Calny gem, or maybe you want like actual Circle of Protection red.
Yeah,
or,
yeah, like
yeah.
the circles of like I've got all the circles, right? And
kinda
those
weird
would be
card.
made in those would be in my Commander kind of pile. And so like I've got the one box and I'm trying currently to alphabetize them. As I'm going through right now, it's more like I picked like this little chunk here is white cards from A to like G. And then so on
You're
and so forth.
alphabetizing by color, though, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think anytime you have like a box that's this size or bigger, like this is I think a 1600. Like each column is supposed to hold 800 cards without sleeves, and it's like realistically, if you're sleeving or double sleeving them, you're probably only going to get 1,000 cards total into the box or something. That's still a lot of cards, and if you just can chop it up into like this 7 or 8 chunks, right? Like here, right? Mm-hmm. Oh. I can't tell if Cameron has a thought he wants to share.
No,
He's
sorry,
gonna
I'm just
sneeze.
suppressing a sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, now,
let
yeah,
it
it's
out.
gone inside my head. Okay, good,
Lives
good,
there
good.
now.
Anyways, yeah, you definitely want to start by sorting them into color, and I'm sure everyone figured that out already.
Yeah. So it's like color.
Unless,
and then
but I
within the
needed to
colors.
ask unless he's just straight up alphabetizing all his cards like a madman.
No,
I had to find
no,
out.
that would be too much.
Okay.
I will say, but the like if once you've done that and you want to go like A, B,
Yeah.
C through each one,
There's value to that,
it's
for sure.
definitely worth doing.
Well-
Because especially if you're somebody who likes to build from a list, even that's a great way to do it because you can go through each thing and know exactly where it's going to be.
Well, yeah, I think my dream would be to have like, my collection it lives in a box on the shelf, but when I'm looking for a card, I go to a list I maintain on the computer, right?
And you know whether it's in the box or not.
Yeah, right. Like that would be the dream, because I think the end goal here is usability,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's usually the end goal. Some
Right,
people are
like,
going for completion, but the players usually like we kind of divide Magic into players and collectors, and there are still collectors out there, and some of them just want one of every card from M15
Well, that's
or whatever.
That's
you
the
know?
thing. Jordan, Sickly MTG, she was tweeting about this the other day, and I totally am on the same page as her. And if I had the space, she just wants a binder of every set, one card of every single set, and just like in a nice alphabetized like
Right, like
Sure.
giant shelf kind
the
of
hockey
thing.
card.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, solution.
I would love that.
Yeah, no, that has a lot of merit, I think.
My dream is the other end of the spectrum, where I would like to only own the cards that are in my current deck, and just suffer through the like financial expense of just selling my entire collection whenever I don't have a tournament coming up, and then like buying my entire deck for the next
I
one.
mean, that
Right.
that also sounds quite nice.
Because then
was
you just
it-
think of Card Kingdom as having one of every card, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're paying somebody else to manage your collection.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
And that does have an appeal, like the ultimate, like the uncollection.
Right. Yeah.
The I would have more space, less dust.
Sorry, I got Cameron daydreaming now.
I was kind of in the same way. I used to just like trade per like each deck that I would be needing at
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
And then I hit the point, especially because of Commander and stuff, and how much I just like, and Highlander, and how much I just like to brew. I get bored with a deck like very quick. I'm always I always want to try something new and stuff like that. So that eventually just became a super like not feasible way of doing it. So I
Yeah,
need
if you're switching your deck every week, it doesn't really work. It's like maybe you can afford to do it seasonally, but it's also really hard if you play like 4 different formats, which I do. So I
Definitely.
haven't done this. Like I just have piles of cards everywhere. But yeah, so to bring it back, let's try to offer our viewers something tangible. So right now, your collection, you're trying to have, and it's in flux. So I want you to give us a brief picture of what it actually looks like right now. But the goal is to have two column boxes, and one of them is just like everything alphabetized that you barely ever use, and the other one is like staples, and they're kind of just color sorted.
Yes.
But they're in a lot of decks. They're like the good cards, and that's just like a box where cards come and go regularly. And then you've got the like finely curated box of weird but hard to find cards like Airborne Aid.
Yes, yeah, like that box would probably end up being like a 4.
Sure,
Right.
Sure, yeah, because you don't have to move it as much. Right?
No,
You
yeah,
don't
there's
have
just
to get into it.
Yeah, so it would be something like having the cards that you know you're going to be using all the time, and separating them, I would say, from cards that you are just going to, your little brew pile, sort of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because the amount of times that you're
So
going to go
good cards and bad cards, kind of. Right?
Kind of, yeah,
Like
like
the second box, you know they're bad cards because you're the only one who thinks they're good.
you're going to go searching for your Tarmogoyf more than you're going to go search for, I would say, like an Opt or something like that. Not
Right.
that Opt wouldn't maybe go into like your staples or whatever, right?
Opt
But-
gets a fair bit of play. Why don't we go further and say like a Frenzied Tilling? You know, like
Yes.
that card's not going to get a ton of play.
Right.
Then your Orcish farmers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what does your collection really look like right now?
Right now, it is a 4-column box that I am going through and sorting right now.
Okay.
And taking things out.
But do you own just the cards that fit into that, and then maybe have like one deck other than that, or something, or does your whole collection fit inside this 4-column box?
My whole collection just almost fits in.
Cool.
I literally just picked up, maybe not literally, but like maybe a month or so ago, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I don't want my Magic cards anymore. I have a box." A 4-column
not
box.
full. Okay, yeah.
and also I just don't want. I think it was like the Commander. Which one had the experience as a mechanic? Was it like 14
maybe
or 15?
14. It was a while
Yeah.
back. Yeah. Marin's not.
Yeah,
brand new.
he had the full collection of them. He's like, I don't want them here. Take it all. And I was like, do you want money? He's like, no. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
That's friendship.
So yeah, so I'm like sorting through that and picking things out, but I mean, there's some things in it. There's like I found like a treasure trove of like 7 or 8 Utopia sprawls and stuff like that in there. So yeah, I'm currently it's a 4-column box, but it's exactly what you said. I'm going to be sorting mine into a 4-column box that is Commander random stuff, and then a box like this that'll be kind of like my Highlander like toolkit or not necessarily Highlander toolkit, but like important cards that I know I'm grabbing all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Staples.
Soul Ring will be in here, like that kind of a thing.
Okay. So that's your split.
Yeah.
Cameron, do you want to go next?
Yeah,
Ready?
uh,
Talk to us about your collection.
My current collection, well, my ideal collection would be a binder
Okay.
of the cards that I play. It would be the deck that I'm currently playing would also factor into my collection. I feel like I'd have my Highlander deck, and then I've got my Modern deck, right? And then if I'm playing Standard for some reason because I think Standard is sweet right now, then I would have that. But then I would have like my trade binder would be the way I would organize my singles, right? Or whatever the current new hotness is. And then I would have 1,000 count box of 4-ofs of like Ponder,
Okay.
right?
Cards that are never going to go away.
Yeah, exactly. The playable bread and butter cards. Currently, what it is that I think it's 4 columns stacked on top of each other,
Nice.
followed by a stack of 2 1600s, followed by a various pile of long boxes, 400 count, 800 counts, and then
Various
a
size
pile
long boxes.
of cards, just piles of
Yeah.
cards.
There we go.
And
we got
I'm
to
like-
the truth.
Yeah.
And it
Like our
drives me
collections are just
batty.
like loose on our coffee table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
basically-
there's those
Finally,
for
someone
me.
said it. It took the second Loading Ready Run
I-
minute for someone to admit it.
I hate it. I hate it. It not only is it ugly, not
It's,
only
like,
is it
depresses you,
unusable, but it kind of like disrespects the cards too, right?
They're
Like,
slowly decomposing there.
well,
right?
yeah, and I can't find anything in it, and they're like, you collecting dust and being sad and unloved.
But
And
do you ever get to look like the guy from the Is It cards where it's just like compulsively researching or frantically searching? It's like half an hour till you have to leave for the tournament and you're trying to build your deck and you're just like rippling through all these random stacks in your bathroom.
the aggravating part is that was it last year? My partner Juliana and I went through my collection and pulled out anything that was kind of worth.
Sure.
and put it into its own box, which is in there somewhere.
It's lost to the waste.
I certainly didn't ship it, and it's definitely somewhere in there.
All right.
But I have no idea where it is.
Later, I'm going to
right?
find out when Cameron's birthday is, and then just show up with like 3 hours of free time,
and
a whole bunch of like sleeves and dividers and a pen.
Like, show up with a pickup truck and a pitchfork, right?
Sure. I'll show up with a dolly and one new box that's the size he wants his collection to fit into.
But
right?
honestly, like, if there was that picture that was making the rounds on the internet the other day of a guy who was like, yeah, I sorted my Magic collection and I took all the draft chaff and I put it in a garbage bag and I was going to throw it out. And it's a picture of a flight of stairs
Oh yeah, because the
with the
bag
landing,
ripped.
and it's just covered in Magic cards.
Oh,
Like,
he dropped the bag.
yeah, the bag, like he was carrying the bag and it was full of Magic cards, which are made of paper, which is surprisingly heavy. And
So
it's just
heavy.
shredded and it's everywhere, right? And I'm
awesome.
like, this is every fear I have.
There was actually, I tweeted a similar thing where my box fell over off of my shelf.
Oh yeah,
that fourth thing,
dropped
and it
so
just-
many boxes.
Yeah, went under my couch. And,
I've gotten like medium good at like figuring out how to best like pick up the weird like swaths of cards. Like if you drop like a 4 or 2 column box enough times, you're just like, you can just like stare at it for a minute, like, okay.
Okay,
You're
yeah.
like unraveling the
Yeah,
puzzle.
yeah, well, yeah. You
Yeah.
like look at it and you like
like-
your mind goes backwards in time. Like if you do it enough times, as they fall, they start to slow down a bit. You're like, it's gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, okay,
Yeah.
but that one's good. You know,
And then you look at it and there's still like domains of order in it where you
Yeah,
can pick
you
up
see-
like
you see the chunks.
Well, it
Yeah,
looks
where
like
you
an
can
Escher
scoop them up.
painting, right?
Yeah.
Like the way that it started
do
falling.
your weird matrix magic on the floor and get
Yeah.
them back into the box.
like
slightly
these ones
faster
are
than you
actually
had
still
before.
just in order, right?
It's like when if you win solitaire on like an old
Oh yeah, on a Windows
on an old
3.1.
Windows computer, and like all
Cards
the
go everywhere.
all the cards like zoom out of the screen at you.
That's right. Yeah, and they leave those tracers, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Magic cards that you dropped out of a neatly organized 4-column box are like powerful tracers, right? Because you're like you care about those cards, and they're like, yeah. Anyways, so your dream is one of these, the binder, and the deck boxes.
Yep.
And what is the binder again exactly? Is it the
I
stuff
don't
that's
know.
in the deck boxes? But you want to own a binder.
So
yeah.
they talked about this a little bit on, I think it was the Command Zone, but it was
Command
a
Zone?
system that a
Another
pro
one.
uses. Yeah,
Oh.
where it's like for your commander decks and stuff like that, or whatever decks, for cards that you only have one of that are maybe expensive but are super used all the time. You know, like your
Right.
Soul Ring or your Strip Mine or whatever, right? For the decks that have them, you have placeholder cards.
Right.
And then the Soul Ring and all that jazz lives in a binder. So that when you're like,
Until
all
it's
right,
time to play.
I'm taking this deck. Which ones do I need out of the binder? Cool, boop, 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 boop.
Right.
And then when you're done, boop, 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 they go back in, put the placeholder cards back, and then you know when to take them from.
And you want the placeholders to just be proxies. You don't want it to be a piece of draft trash that you turn around backwards and then sharpied on Soul Ring. So that you put that in the sleeve so it counts to 100 if you're doing that.
Right.
And you remember that the Soul Ring should be in your binder.
Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
feel-
the thing is
Yeah,
forming
the-
the habit, right?
Yeah, the transferring it in and then transferring it back
out.
process is the thing. That's where people usually fall down.
Yeah. I've tried that system for Highlander, so can I?
Yes, it's your turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
Go
So
for it.
I've done a bunch of different ones, but I'll talk about this binder. For a while there, I was not playing standard or really modern. I think I had most of the pieces of John still, but it was like they were in a pile. But I played a ton of Highlander. I still play a fair bit of Highlander. So I had 1 2-column box, just sorted by color, of staples. And then another basically 2-column box of like my junk that I put in my decks sometimes, but shouldn't go in most decks. And then I had a binder with just lands, where on each page for like the first, like the 10 guilds or whatever, I had like the same organized layout of the 9 pockets of like all of the different cycles of lands.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then I was supposed to put them back after building a deck, but it'd be like, then I would end up building a new deck, and like, you know, this Cliff Topper cheat is like in a pile with 89 of the cards, and I forgot to put it back. So it's like, then I broke down eventually. But so I stopped using that, and I just gave the lands another one of their tabs in the 2-column box. But the Highlander toolkit plan worked for a while. The problem I had eventually, the reason I want to take it apart, and I'm working on something else right now, is just that like I didn't like having to make the distinction or like draw the line between like what is a staple and what is a
Right.
silly brew card. Because like if you actually commit to these bad cards for long enough, and you're like medium good at Magic, or so either you were right about them and they are kind of good, and then eventually people catch on, and then there's like 3 other decks that are playing, I don't know, whatever your favorite Dirtle card is.
I remember no one really looked twice at Arclight Phoenix at the beginning.
Yeah, that's weirdly the best pickup I've done. Like I feel like since beta or something,
Yeah,
where
it's
I just like bought 4 Arclight Phoenixes immediately.
Turns out the card is good in
Yeah.
everything.
I didn't know it was gonna be as popular as
It's taking
it is.
over Modern right now too.
Just like, I
Wait,
wanna play
really?
that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess so. Like, does it go into the Goblin game decks?
It's called like
Goblin Lore.
Goblin Lore,
yeah,
right,
kind
yeah.
of. I think
It's-
they play Faithful Suiting for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Red Frenzy deck.
Okay.
That's it
There's
also
a blue-red version too, right? With Thing in the Ice.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, so I did like making that distinction. Right now, so I'll say my ideal collection, I think, is just like whatever decks I have already built for the formats I play, and then like basically a cube and cards that are for sale. And hopefully this third pile or like traders or whatever is as small as possible. I always find that's like a hard thing to do. Is like that
Right.
you're not using a card, but there's a small chance you will use it in the future, and you try to like make yourself get 15% of its value in cash or whatever it's
Right.
paid for it, especially if you like bought it high. Like I bought Baneslayers for as much money as anyone can possibly spend on Baneslayers, and it's hard to make myself like sell them.
Right.
But yeah, like I think that's an ideal I have personally, is just to be like, okay, if it's not in like a cube that you're actually curating, I think it's okay if the cube is 2 of these. If it's like one that's like the lands and the actual cube set that you have, and then a second one that's like, this might go in the cube, because it still only lets you keep one of them, and it doesn't let you keep, cards that you don't want in your cube. And it's also like, it's only a second one of these. So it's 2 2-column boxes, and then maybe 5 deck boxes, and then, yeah, that's about it. But what my collection really looks like right now is 12 bundle or fat pack boxes with every dual decks ever in them. I'm missing a couple actually. I haven't bought like the last 3, which I probably should. They're going to start being off the shelf soon, and I should complete that set. But like I kind of don't want to have those, but I feel like I have them, so I can't just like get rid of one or something. Anyways, and then I have the stupid cube-shaped box, which is my like extra Highlander cards. I still have the 2-column of the Highlander toolkit. There's some other junk in there now. I have like 4 or 5 deck boxes, several of those Dowler piles. That's the apartment I used to live in with like the people that I lived with who have the worst possible collections, where it's just like Underground Sea next to Plague Rats, next to like current draft trash, and they're just like in a pile at the back of this monitor.
Yeah.
And then like, what else do I have besides that? Oh yeah, I have a box with just basic lands that's this big. It doesn't need to be that big. I'm never sleeving up 400 islands in a deck, but I just haven't gotten rid of them all. And then I also have 4 single column boxes with just like the cards that I had as a kid,
Right.
which I still haven't gotten rid of. It's really sad. Although one of them is Shadowfist cards.
All right. Well, if we're outing it, then yeah. Currently, I've got 2 boxes,
Yeah.
2 4-column boxes. One is my stuff I use all the time. One is that pile of stuff that I'm going through that is probably going to end up at YJ in a couple of days.
That's good though. Like I mean, you seem to be the least deep on the like problematically I have too many cards.
I've also been playing like less or like for a short amount of time, right? Like I really started getting into Magic at like the end of like Nyx kind of a thing.
Oh, I forgot about a whole huge part of my collection too. Sorry, I have like 20 more fat pack boxes that are just full of cards that I'm telling myself I'm getting rid of. I've already sorted them out. There are various values. Like there's 2 big duffel bags that are just commons and uncommons. But I'm like, Ed might want these,
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's like,
that's
no,
literally
it doesn't.
me.
Of course he doesn't.
I'm
right?
just gonna
But
bring. I'm gonna
can't
bring
put
that
them in the
downstairs.
trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are all dollar commons.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least quarter commons, right? Yeah.
I always think about like if you're playing, Diablo or something, like at the very beginning of the game, you pick up like everything that's on that
That's
anything
right.
drops.
Yeah.
And then pretty quickly he's being like, I'm not going to pick up anything that's white colored. I'm only going to go for like the blue and above.
Right.
And then pretty soon you're like, those ones are. I can only go for like green and above now.
Only purple.
Right.
And it's like, okay, now I'm only going to grab purples or
Yeah,
whatever.
well, like watching Adam play Diablo 2 last week was just like him like hitting monsters and being like, okay, there's a yellow item, picks up, and there's just like piles of gold like
Yeah.
littered across the ground.
Interesting.
But yeah, you start getting more and more picky about what you're going to actually
Yeah.
keep. Yeah.
Well, that's Fallout
And-
76 as well right now.
Yeah.
Because you can pick up everything and you can scrap everything.
Yeah,
and
crispy
right-
basilisk urethra, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, like-
No, it's like silver plate, and you're just like, sure, that
I
compounds
might
down to
need that.
one silver thing or whatever, right? Like,
But sorry, we interrupted you, Ben.
oh no, I mean like so that was it. Yeah, it's like it's 2 4-panel boxes, a bunch of the old bundle sort of things that are just like used for holding like lands and stuff like that. I've got like it's basically a thing full of full arts as well as just like a couple foil or like promotional kind of ones in case
Right.
like I'm running a deck like Naya tokens where I only run like 4 basics or whatever. And then the admission I was going to make is those commander precons that I got are just loose in piles in a little shelf.
They give you a deck for them, but those deck
Those
boxes
are not
really
good.
impractical.
If they're sleeved,
Yeah.
especially too, right? So yeah, those are just kind of laying out until I pick out the cards that I need from them, and then probably send the rest to YJ and see how it goes.
Okay, we ran out of time basically, but we were gonna talk, and I made a mention of things
Yes,
I was gonna bring
yes,
back. So I just
okay.
want to tell you that there was an article written by I think A.D. Jameson that a bunch of people are talking about. It's an open letter response to Jerry T, and it had to do with who is kind of like the driving customer of Magic a little bit, and it was more the people that care about the story than the people that care about the Pro Tour these days. So that's what the tie-in was. But also, hey, we might talk about that on the next episode of Tap Tap Concede.
Yeah, well, it was an interesting letter, definitely.
Yeah. So if you want to read it, and then we'll share our thoughts with you next week.
We would also, I guess, we'll be able to see a little bit more of the reaction.
That's
on
right.
this
Yeah.
too, because it came out yesterday.
Or this morning.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I believe.
So yeah, we
Okay,
can,
cool.
we can talk about
see
the full analysis.
See where the
of
critical
it.
field is on it.
That's right.
So anyway, thank you for joining us today on Tap Tap Concede. This podcast is brought to you by the kind people over at CardKingdom.com. If you go to cardkingdom.com/LRR, that enters our affiliate code. It lets them know that we sent you. And if you are looking for singles in your area, hot singles in your area, then Card Kingdom can deliver them to you. That is probably also not their motto.
Oh, we're gonna get a message from Jordan later.
Yeah. But they have generously supported us, so
I'm actually going to be going on there tonight now, looking at some cool tokens and stuff, because those are really cool.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Also
keep
checking the
forgetting to
prices
enter
of
our
the
affiliate
lands.
I like the last time I did a big order at Card Kingdom, I was like, cardkingdom.com, enter.
Right.
And my brain is like, excuse me, and I'm like, later, please. I'm trying to order cards here. My brain is like, no, I think this is important.
Please.
And I'm like, okay, hold on, place order. Now what do you want, brain? It's like, never mind. It's like, well, this is great. Thanks a lot. You just wasted my time.
Use your promo code, you dink.
Yeah. And it is also brought to you by you, the viewer over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Your direct support of us through patreon.com makes all of our content possible, so we're infinitely grateful to you. Until next week, I've been Cameron.
I've been Ben.
I'm still Nelson.
We will see you later.